Hello, Frugal Force. Once again, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Immortal Hulk number 8. It was written by Al Ewing, the art was by Joe Bennett, and the cover art was by Alex Ross, and this may be the first time I've ever been able to say all the names without butchering them. Which, surprise, surprise, because you know me, that's not usual. Now, this cover of this issue starts right off the bat with the Hulk. You see him cut into pieces. This is from the last issue where he was captured, and they actually cut him all up. Now, I will say this is not an all-ages book. I don't recommend this for young children because it is pretty graphic. So with that said, I enjoyed the cover. I thought it gives a scary, dark imagery. Great for the Halloween time, because, granted, we're right past Halloween, but it was released November 7th, I believe was the print date of it. And, so, not dead on the mark there, but it still has a dark theme. And that's what's interesting about this series, The Immortal Hulk. As you know, right now, I'm not a big fan of most Marvel comics, okay? My pull list for Marvel comics, I would say, is about as big as my love for SJWism in comic books. In other words, very short. And it's just, there are a lot of Marvel books that are loaded with that, and they're not good. This one, I'm not going to say it's perfect in all means, but there's a lot of elements this I like. If you like horror books, Hulk might be for you right now. This takes me back to the older issues of the Hulk, back when they were a little bit more like when the Hulk comes out at night. We see that theme coming here again, but it also has a lot of horror elements like you get from like Tales from the Crypt in this. So it's adding that element back to the Hulk that we haven't had in a long time. Anyway, Hulk was captured, and we were in a lab there. We've seen this lab, and they're actually cutting the Hulk's pieces up even more, and they're storing them in jars, and they're doing experimentation on this. Okay, and when we see that, if you move the pieces somewhat close together, they're going to start automatically coming together and healing. Now, a lot of people have known that the Hulk has healing and regenerative powers. But I've said this for years, because whenever you hear about a character with healing powers, you always hear about Wolverine. And I always said, what about the Hulk? The Hulk has some of the most serious, fast healing powers ever. I would challenge that they're above Wolverine's healing powers, but that is wavered depending on writer and the characterization. If you look early on, the Hulk is healed from massive devastation, wounds, gaping holes in his chest, being burned to nothing, next to nothing, and still came back. But yet what we always heard about is Wolverine. So some people are reading this that maybe haven't been as familiar with the Hulk might go, well, this is wrong for characterization. Hulk doesn't heal like that. Well, yeah, actually he does. So we see Hulk there. He's getting experimented on. And on this page, I absolutely love this. The scientist, the villain scientist there, is talking crap to the Hulk because the Hulk can't speak, and you can see it's like he's trying to speak. He says, I mean, look at you trying to talk with no air in your lungs. No lungs. Science isn't your specialty, is it? And this next panel, once again, not for kids, is absolutely hilarious. You see the Hulk's hand, but you see one finger extending up, saying, you're number one to the scientist, but they don't show the full panel of the hand, but you can tell the Hulk is giving him the one finger salute. And so that's absolutely just crazy fun. So he's looking at the Hulk's regenerative powers, and they're talking about how they're exploring him and how his regeneration. Good as new, dead meat on the table, alive again when it's near him, and it heals, regenerates. I have questions. Do you have questions, Charlene? So as you see there in this lab, they're doing a lot of conducting of experimentation, and it's interesting, some of the ideas he's thinking about trying is darn right scary. And so Charlene mentions, is it psychic link maybe? Autonomic control over the individual cells? And the response is nope, 0 PSI activity. Plus he has a hypothalamus destroyed, and he came back from that, which is once again showing how amazing the Hulk's regenerative powers are. And they're looking at another subject too in the meantime. That's the key to all this. How does he come back? What's the science? What are the rules? We have to know the rules, and that's an interesting thing because we don't know the rules either. Because this is different. We've never seen the Hulk cut up quite like this before. It's a little bit different. So it's going to be a slightly different take on the Hulk we've been getting, and it's going to be interesting how much he's changed since the death of the Hulk. We then cut to Alpha Flight Space Station with Captain Marvel, and I will say the artwork's not bad here, okay? And she's looking for the Hulk. She realizes something isn't right. Did the government lose the Hulk? Did they kidnap him? She can't get contact. So she decides that she's going to hit up Sasquatch, as well as she's talking to that reporter, and they're going to be investigating it. And here's one of the things I look at. I think it's a little cringy. It's like Sasquatch is wearing like a Captain Marvel kind of shirt, right? I guess it's for the team, but it just doesn't look right on him. Now Sasquatch right now, if you've been reading the series, or if not, just so you get it caught up, he no longer has the power. He's been stripped of his gamma power, so he's no longer has that mutation. But he's still a pretty brilliant scientist. So they come up with a team, Gamma Flight. They're going to be looking into the Hulk situation. So we then cut back then to the scientists, with all the jars of the Hulk, which once again is a really cool element, I thought, in this for the horror type of thing. It also reminds me a bit of The Raven, that story where you can you hear the heart beating, the guy does because he's nuts, but a whole different story there. But it has that dark element. It takes me back to The Raven. So anyway, the scientist here is clearly having issues with the government, with Captain Marvel. They don't want to give it up. He wants to figure out more of this. It makes you wonder what he has to gain. What is behind this? But then he starts showing his vileness in a way. He's sort of poking at the Hulk. The Hulk, you can see, has a smile in the jar. So he's like, what's up with that? You think that's funny? That your superhero buddies want to make life difficult? Difficult for you, my friend? Everything we've done to you here was just the start. So what else did they have intended for him? And so Hulk has this smile and he's poking fun, and he wonders what Hulk thinks is so funny.
Okay.
And then he realizes that Hulk just uses his finger, once again, his severed hand, in a jar, and pretty much just taps on the jar and breaks it, and it releases the Hulk. And you have this gruesome scene of the Hulk growing back together. And then it gets even worse. He actually has the scientist growing in, he's growing around the scientist. And so he's inside of him. So that's just darn right gruesome. So Dr. Clive is now inside the Hulk. How freaky is that? Oh, yeah, that's right. His name is Dr. Clive. It just came to me, right? And so Charlene comes in and notices he's gone, and there's a big gaping hole in the ground. So we cut to Alpha Flight still doing some more research about where he is, how to find him, and it cuts to showing us the Hulk busting out from under the ground and coming out, and he looks a little bit grotesque as he changes back to Banner. Really, I've never seen it look this way before. It's an interesting take on the conversion to Banner, and Banner realizes that Hulk has crossed the line now. He's taken life. Something is not normal here. And that's what I think part of it makes this issue interesting. And they've been building up this, what's gotten into the Hulk? What's going on here? Why is the Hulk doing this the way he is? What is going on here? So, and the story ends there as Banner's walking away. Once again, I think Al Ewing here has crafted an interesting take on a character. He's went back to the old roots of the character, but yet even tossed in more horror elements like you would get from something like Tales from the Crypt or something of that nature, making this a very different type of hero story in a horror story, really, if you will. And if you know me, I'm a big fan of horror stories, so I'm really enjoying this comic book. As I said, my enjoyment of Marvel overall, the stack of comics from my pull list is about as short as my temperament, if you will, with SJWs right now, trying to control everything in comics. But this book is really good. So overall, I'm going to give the story a very good high mark. The art throughout the story is pretty darn good too. I wouldn't say it's the best art I've ever seen, but it's definitely serviceable and does well. I think it fits the atmosphere. I don't see anything massively wrong with this book, though I do hate how Sasquatch looked in that shirt. It just was ridiculous. I'm going to give this book an A-. If you're not reading the Immortal Hulk, I would suggest maybe going back and picking this series up and start reading it. Right now, it's one of the few things from Marvel, in my opinion, that's worth reading. All right. So if you've read this, let me know in the comments what you think about this. And if not, if you do choose to read it because of this, let me know in the comments as well. Do you like the current direction of the Hulk? Do you want him to go back? What period of Hulk do you like the most? Let me know that in the comments. And what comic book from Marvel right now would you suggest that I read? My list right now is pretty short. I'm reading Captain America just for the reviews because it makes me sick. The Immortal Hulk. I've been reading Thor. I don't know if I'm going to stick with that one. And I've been reading Avengers. So, in the mixed bag there. But is there anything else from Marvel that I should be reading? I'm probably forgetting a few that I'm reading, but my DC list and independent list is much bigger right now than my Marvel list. Now, if you enjoy these videos, you want to help out, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up for me. Help spread the word. I greatly appreciate it. You can also help us financially to buy more comics, to do reviews and games and things of that nature in two ways. One, you can go to our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can support the channel as well as get links to Patreon-only videos. And so you're going to get special updates on the C-list comic book that I'm writing and other things like that. You can also support the channel and get some cool things for the holiday season if you want on my Redbubble site. And that link will be down below too, where you can get Captain Frugal shirts, clocks, cell phone covers, laptop covers, pillows, anything you want. Yes, you can sleep with your head on Captain Frugal. Not that you'd want to. My wife might not appreciate it. No, it's good. So you can do that at Redbubble as well. So I greatly appreciate all the help that you've done and all the support. And until next time, keep it frugal.